Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Collectors channel today. And before we get started, I just want to thank all of you for helping me hit 100 subscribers. That is awesome, and I thank each and every one of you. And to repay you, today we're doing a double feature. So if you haven't seen it yet, first we took a look at the Netflix Soundwave. If you haven't seen it, link will be up here. But now we're taking a look at the Kingdom Blaster. And, as always, we can go ahead and take a look at the box first. So there are two releases of this figure. There is the one in Kingdom and there is the one in Legacy. And they are absolutely identical, except this guy has some plastic in his packaging, and the Legacy version costs about $5 more. Inflation. But we can take a look at this box. I think this box looks awesome. You got a picture of Blaster right here, as well as right here, looking absolutely menacing. Got the nice Kingdom logo down here. Voyager class up down there. Up here you got that Autobot Blaster and Eject. Up here you got War for Cybertron K44, the last release in Kingdom. This side you got the Kingdom art. And back here, we've got a picture of Blaster in his robot mode, as well as his tape player mode, showing off that he can eject. And here's Eject. Man, that was a lot of uses of the word eject in a row there. And here is Blaster in his very nice looking robot mode. So if you have already seen my review that I did earlier today on Soundwave, you'll know that I have some problems with that figure. I really enjoy the figure. I really enjoy the character. It's one of my favorite characters of all time. But it's just got some problems with that toy that I just can't really look over. Like just this massive issue with the yellowing in the plastic here. You can actually kind of see that's the color it's supposed to be, and that's the color it is. And this thing has not been exposed to very much sunlight at all, and it has just yellowed so fast, and that sucks because of how expensive that figure is. What I will say about this Blaster, to sum it up really shortly, this is exactly what I wanted with that Netflix Soundwave. This thing is phenomenal. I absolutely love this figure. So taking a look at him here, we got that really nice Autobot symbol right there. It's got this nice deep red color to him all throughout with some jet black and some nice gray down here. And just, he doesn't have very many colors to him. But wow, do the colors that he have just pop. It's just, this is such a nice looking figure. Not only nice looking, it just functions perfectly. This is one of the best figures I have ever had, and that's kind of saying a lot. But very nice figure. I absolutely love how this guy turned out. He does have two accessories that we can take a look at. That is right here is his big blaster. Very cool. Got a whole stock back here, a whole scope, you know. This looks more like a real gun than pretty much anything I've seen with Transformers, especially this thing. This is from the Netflix Soundwave. Get that out of here, though. But this is one of the coolest looking guns that I've seen come with one of these Transformers in a long time. We can get rid of that, though. The cooler accessory here is if you push in on this plate here on his chest, you almost have to push in and then let it pop back out. This is Eject. So Eject is just Blaster's little cassette minion dude. To transform it, all you do is just pop this little leg out like this, straighten it up, and twist it to the front. And it is completely translucent plastic on like this outer shell, so do be careful with it. Mine literally arrived with stress marks on the leg right there, if you can see that. So I'm a little bit worried about how this little dude's going to hold up. But you just spin his little hands out, and this is the hardest part right here. Trying to get his little head out. There we go. Spin that around. And there is Eject. Looking very, very nice. I actually really like how this little dude looks. Like I said, he is quite literally about 60% translucent plastic. And like I said, he arrived with stress marks on his knee, which might be kind of hard to see there, but that's simply from assembling the figure. He got stress marks. So I am a little worried about how this dude's going to hold up in the long run, but just be careful with it. To transform him back, you just spin his head around again and tuck it back into here. You can then extend his arm, twist this in, and just hook this into here. There is a little tab at the end right here that will just kind of rest in this whole groove in here. It really doesn't tab into anything. It just kind of goes into that opening. Then you rotate these legs out, spin them up like this. Nope, sorry. Spin them this way and spin them down like this. So you want it to go this way. And that's it. Pretty simple. You just drop him right into there. And actually, I do want to point this out. On the Netflix Soundwave, this whole door is a translucent piece. On this blaster, it's actually a two-piece assembly in there, to where the majority of this door is actually opaque plastic that's red and painted yellow. And then the window itself is a translucent piece that was added after the fact. So I really like that. That gives me more hope for the durability of this door, especially over the Netflix Soundwave door. But all in all, very cool little accessories you get with this guy. For articulation, this guy, he's fairly articulated, but he has some weird points that I'll point out for you. His head is on a ball joint, so it can spin all the way around, as well as a little bit of up and down there. Shoulders can go full 360, as well as come out tiny bit below 90 degrees. He does have a bicep swivel, as well as can go tiny bit past 90 degrees at the elbow. And this is the weird part here. His hands, so they can kind of tuck in a tiny bit. That's honestly, it's like cut out for the thumb. I think it's to kind of make it look like he's ejecting eject kind of a deal. But what's odd about that, it can also swing out. But what's odd about that is it doesn't actually really want to sit like perfectly even. It's always kind of recessed in. I don't know if that's just my copy not sitting right there where it should, but mine just kind of recesses in a tiny bit on both hands. Not a big deal at all. That's just something I've noticed. So he does have waist articulation and can kick forward that far. It's about a straight 90 degrees. Can kick back literally not at all unless you move this out of the way, and then he can go pretty far. And then he has 90-degree bend at the knee, actually a tiny bit below 90-degree bend at the knee, and some really nice ankle rocker joints that this section here helps to fill in so it doesn't look like he's just like snapping at this point. Looks a lot nicer than some of the other ankle joints. But that is about it for that, so we can get some comparisons here. Here is the War for Cybertron K44 blaster with the War for Cybertron Netflix 14 Soundwave. And as you can see, Blaster is actually quite a bit taller, as he should be. But all in all, it pains me to say that I like this thing 100 times better than I like this. I like Soundwave so much more as a character than Blaster, but this Blaster toy is absolutely perfect. This thing is awesome, and this thing was awesome until that sun bleaching started, and now it's just an eyesore to me. We can get him out of here. And here he is with the Legacy Laser Rod Optimus Prime. Let me adjust the camera here and actually line these guys up. Move his sword. There we go. You can get an accurate representation. So he was repacked into Legacy, so these guys kind of are wave mates, but this is the Kingdom version, so, whatever. I think they look really good next to each other. I actually really like this guy too. I thought his transformation was going to be way more complicated than it really is. It's just not as bad as I thought. But that's beside the fact. Review on him coming soon. With that being said, we can go ahead and get Blaster transformed into his cassette player mode. Transformation guide will be linked down in the description as well as right up here. Check that out and come back. Here is Blaster in his very, very nice cassette player mode. Pretty much what I want to say to start this is just this thing really shows me what that Netflix Soundwave could have been. This looks perfect. And I understand that like this isn't what Soundwave transforms into. It's just like the same type of thing, you know what I mean? But just look at how clean this thing is. I can take his gun off the back just to show you that a little bit nicer. Like, look at that. There is like no robot cable on this thing at all. I mean, you can kind of see like that is the arm, like that is the leg, but like you have to like look for that to see that. It's not like the Netflix Soundwave where it's just like his whole upper body is folded back behind him. This thing looks so nice. And you can still open his little door here, and you can still get eject in and out. That functionality stays exactly how it was. But this thing, I know I don't want to be negative on the Netflix Soundwave for 2 whole videos, but that thing, it's so disappointing to see what that thing looks like compared to this. This is so much better than the Netflix Soundwave. And I hate saying that because the Netflix Soundwave is an awesome figure worth piles of money, but holy cow, does this thing just put it to shame. It's insane. And just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, here's once again the Netflix Soundwave. So if you just take a look at these two, this one's substantially larger, but it just looks so much nicer. And like, yeah, this has like your little gold trim and stuff like that, but it's just, I don't know, there's like no comparison here, in my opinion. This thing, hands down, blows this thing out of the water. And this is worth like literally like a 1/6 to a 1/10 of what this cost. And that hurts. You can spin these around. This here is precisely what I was talking about. Look at how clean this thing ends up, and just look at how like clunky this thing looks. I can even take his little guns out if it'll balance and just show you. Like, look at how chunky this thing is compared to this. I'm not gonna lie, if I had $300 sitting around, I'd buy 10 of these and not one of these. That sucks to say, but I'm not gonna lie to you. This thing is leagues better than this. But we can get him out of here. And for the last comparison here, we have the Legacy drag strip. And this size comparison here really just shows me that Blaster has got to be the biggest goddamn tape player I've ever seen in my life, if he's this much bigger than a car. Of course, I'm joking. They're totally not in scale, but you can kind of get more of a reference of the actual size here. He's roughly the exact same. The camera's kind of throwing that off a little bit, so drag strip does look longer, but from my angle, he's roughly the maybe a hair shorter, but pretty close in size there. Let's go like that. Very, very cool. I like these figures together a lot. And like I said, my Blaster is the Kingdom Blaster, but it's identical in always accept packaging to the legacy version. Get him out of here. And we can go ahead and get Blaster transformed back into his robot mode to finish up this video. Once again, transformation guide will be linked down in the description, as well as up here. Click the little eye, check that out, and we can finish this video. And here we are back in robot mode. So I just want to say that this double feature with the sound wave and the blaster, you definitely got two different results here. At first I really liked that sound wave, and then it just pains me to look at now because of that sun bleaching. This is the exact opposite. This thing I didn't have very high hopes for at all, and then it showed up, and it is perfect. This thing is awesome. I would recommend this to absolutely anybody who collects Transformers ever. And that's a bold statement, but that's hitting adult collectors because it's a G1 character. That's hitting children because it's just a good character. It's just a good figure. It's easy to transform. That's hitting people who don't even know what Transformers are because, like I said, it's easy to transform. This would be an awesome first figure. This would be an awesome last figure. This would be an awesome anything. This is easily one of the best Transformers I have ever messed with, and I hope you guys agree. If you liked that video, please let me know with a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.